Margaret Atwood's deft adaptation of William Shakespeare's late romance The Tempest, first performed in 1611, explores the intricacies and relationships of human nature through the process of reimagining and reframing. Atwood's postmodernist novel Hag-seed 2016 stands as a testament to literature's timeless ability to spark conversation across centuries. Shakespeare wrote his late romantic play The Tempest during the times of the Jacobean England, where he explored the concept of Christian humanism through delving into the empowering themes of tragedy and retribution. However, Atwood displays the enduring relevance of the seminal text by expanding the ideas of Shakespeare but setting her novel in 21st century Canada. Through the textual conversation, the idea of life is like a performance is critically presented through the protagonists of both texts. Atwood's Hag-seed significantly engages in the process of reimagining and reframing, doing so by illuminating the ways in which literature crosses the historical boundaries to present innovative interpretations on past subjects. Based on life as a performance, characters are aware of their own artifice, which molds their characteristics, as a result imprisoning them as they seek revenge. Prospero's reflexivity in The Tempest is a product of his magic and knowledge-based strength. Prospero's opinions of the people who he considers beneath him is evident through Caliban, representing his power through authority. He uses the dehumanizing phrase, "a freckled whelp, hag-born, not honored with a human shape," but as Prospero contrasts the parts of Caliban that he recognizes in himself with this thing of darkness I acknowledge mine, he comes to terms with his common humanity. This strikes a chord with Felix's journey through Hag-seed, where he distances himself from humanity because he believes he is superior to everyone. This is illustrated by referring to the prison theatre as my island domain, my place of exile, my penance, my theatre. The repetition of my shed lights on the arrogance of his character and his fictitious control of his mental imprisonment. This is reimagining and reframing when Felix's common humanity is recovered when the prisoners, representing Caliban, help him recognize his own loss of humanity. This is done when Felix realizes he has nothing of his own aside from his retaliation. The prisoners unwittingly remind him of his harsh reality by stating, "We thought maybe you might want to add something of your own, Mr. Duke," which serves as a bridging point towards his reclusivity. Felix truly believes that his ability as a director hands him the overreaching power to act his revenge. However, upon seeing the prisoners become freed from their mental imprisonment, which is displayed through their incompetence, Felix uses them to free himself from revenge. The protagonists of both texts discover through their development during the performances that they must first demonstrate forgiveness in order to be free. Prospero's desire for vengeance is what results in him being stuck on the island, both mentally and physically. His string of retaliations is what keeps him free from forgiveness. In Act 5, Scene 1, Prospero is ready to forgive the betrayals of his enemies and forgoes the infliction of punishment and revenge on those who betrayed him, even though he has been deeply wounded by them. Instead of retaliation, he chooses forgiveness. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. That those who wronged him are remorseful, and bids Ariel to release them from their imprisonment and says that he will break his spell on them and restore their senses. Emotion is touched in Prospero, prompted by the very human display of compassion by the non-human spirit. This is an important step in Prospero's voyage of self-discovery, speaking, "Though with their high wrongs I am stuck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason, gainst my fury do I take part. Go release them, Ariel, my charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves." The alliteration in high wrongs emphasizes the severity of the injustices Prospero feels. Prospero forgives and is forgiven by everyone, but he also needs forgiveness from the audience, with the words, "As you from crimes would be pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free." He breaches the fourth wall, signifying his ultimate release, underlining the use of reflexivity in The Tempest. Felix is free of his retaliation, but in order to experience general forgiveness, he must let go of his fixation on control and his illusion of Miranda. By positioning Ariel as a parallel of Miranda, she is liberated, to the elements be free, and finally she is. Ariel is a spirit obligated to serve Prospero, not as a physical slave, allowing for freedom of the life he had determined for himself. The paths taken by the characters in Hag-seed and The Tempest, as well as the manner in which it is presented to the audience, influence the audience's understanding in both literary pieces. Hag-seed's recontextualization of The Tempest preserves the reoccurring motif of the witness, evident by the character's soliloquy of thoughts and how they influence how the audience interprets their actions. Both the island in The Tempest and the prison in Hag-seed serve as mysterious backdrops for the theatrical production. Prospero's own stagecraft deceives the audience into thinking that he is using magic to control the characters. Act 4, Scene 1 makes it clear that he is only directing a play. "These our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits and are melted into air, into thin air, the great globe itself." This breaks the fourth wall, embodying the play's elusive metatextuality and references to the real world. When Prospero plays Shakespeare and says, "Let your indulgence set me free," the stagecraft used is quite ambiguous because the character's words reflect a resonance between apparent and illusory reality, challenging the audience's preconceived ideas about Shakespeare and the storm by incorporation modern rap stagecraft into the language of Hag-seed. Similarly, Felix portrays Prospero as a magician-free director and actor. "It's the words that should concern you, that's the real danger." The phrase "real danger" metaphorically represents the potential harm or consequence that can arise from the use of language, and is a representation of Felix's actual words also posing a threat to the prison. In conclusion, the textual conversation between Hag-seed and The Tempest explores the intricacies and relationships of human nature through the process of reimagining and reframing through the postmodernist lens. Both works provide evidence to the enduring relevance of Shakespeare and their ability to conform alternate ideas.